Hello everyone and welcome to CIMEX second edition webinar. So for this webinar, we will talk about chemical supplements in the wastewater treatment system. My name is Ashraf. I'm a sales engineer from CIMEX Engineering. So for CIMEX Engineering, we are industrial suppliers that have been working for since 2004, and we have catered for all industries across Malaysia, mainly cement plant. And in that, we supply services such as material handling, wastewater supplements, and also silo cleaning. And that we shall move on to our webinar presentation. So there are three main parameters that should be considered when engineers design a wastewater treatment system. There are actually more than three, but this is the main one, which is biological oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand, and also total suspended solid. So COD is a total measurement of all chemicals, organic and inorganic, in the water or wastewater. BOD is a measurement of the amount of oxygen that is required for the bacteria to degrade the organic component present in the water or wastewater. So the ratio of BOD and COD plays an important role inside of wastewater treatment system when you consider the parameters and how effective you are in treating your wastewater. So if COD is higher than that of the BOD, which is maximum of up to 4 times in medium scale industry, but it varies based on the industrial process and nature of the raw material used. So for BOD you have to test it for 5 days, which took a longer time than COD. For COD, you can test it in a laboratory and then you can get the result straight ahead. You can also do testing for TSS, which can be anything from fruit or suspense in water, including sand, sediments, and plankton. You can accurately calculate total suspended solid and wastewater by using a TSS sensor or monitor. You can also possible to complete the TSS test within a few hours in the lab. So for TSS, from my experience, you can also use the filtering process in which that you dry all the TSS and then you filter it and then you measure it. And that is the parameters that is highlighted inside of the wastewater treatment system. So this is the typical configuration of wastewater treatment. As you can see, the pre-treatment will go forward into the equalizing tank, and then the primary sedimentation, and a cross selector after that to a biological process. And after biological process, we will continue to the chemical mixing, secondary sedimentation, and then straight to pre-thickening, sludge thickening, chemical mixing again, and discharge. This is for the sludge cake to the sludge handling and transfers. So billion of dollars or million of ringgit is actually spent on building this wastewater treatment system. And for 6% of the annual operating costs is spent on chemicals in this section, which is the chemical mixing, to improve the effluence of your wastewater treatment system. So the parameters that have been set by our government via the standard A and standard B for all industrial effluent discharge can be observed from this table. Number 1, 2, and 3 is the temperature, pH, BOD, and everything else. So uh, for BOD, which is 20 and 40, for standard A and B, the difference between standard A and B is that where do you discharge the wastewater. For A is for any water body, and for B is mainland water body, which means that drain and any sorts of transportation of water from the factory to the closest river. Next is the wastewater treatment chemicals that have been used. So wastewater treatment is a complex process that requires a variety of chemicals to modify the pH of the water and to prevent the release of pollutants such as heavy metals, volatile and semi-volatile organic compounds, and pesticide into the surrounding environments. Chemical treatment of wastewater is used by industries such as pharmaceutical, energy production, and petrol production. So below we discuss the primary chemical used in wastewater treatment and their common applications. So to meet both governmental regulation and industrial standards for chemical effluents and pollutants, numerous wastewater chemical solutions have been developed. Depending on the application, one or more chemical treatments may be necessary to produce up to code wastewater. For example, coagulant, which is very necessary for wastewater, very necessary for a wastewater system. Coagulants are aluminum or iron-based chemical that change the magnetic charge of particles in the water that causes them to attract instead of repel each other. The waste collects into large bodies that can be skimmed or filtered out. And then the material often removed from wastewater with coagulants, including arsenic, pathogens, organic material, fluoride, and chemical phosphorus. So what coagulant did is that it attract all of this waste into a larger body so that it can be skimmed and filtered out. And coagulant are mostly materials made out of chemical components such as aluminum and iron sulfate, aluminum sulfate, and everything like that. The second thing is odor control. Although odor control is secondary consideration because not many plants actually consider to remove odor unless there have been a report of too much unpleasant smell that surround the environment of the factory. Usually factories are situated in a rural area where they are estranged or far from houses and any nearby neighborhood. So when compared with detection and removal of highly toxic chemical, a range of effective methods are available to reduce unwanted smell, including biofiltration, solid scavenging, oxidation, iron salt, carbon absorption, and liquid phase technology. The most toxic contaminants of industrial waste often smell very bad. However, these dangerous contaminants require chemical treatments, even before biological water treatment can be considered. For example, leaches into underground into groundwater can be undetected, which ultimately causes birth defect, cancer, and everything else. We will get to that part later. And the notion of highly toxic waste are colorless, odorless, and otherwise invisible, and was brought to mainstream consciousness by books or movies, and industrial standards has since been adjusted accordingly. So another part is flocculants. Flocculants will always be side by side with coagulants because flocculants are divided into three categories: natural, chemical, and graph. Coupled with water agitation process, flocculant encourage waste particle to adhere to another in a clump or flocks, hence the name flocculants, through charge bringing electrostatic patching and magnetic neutralization. Okay, now we come to the defoamers. So defoamers, as the name implies, are used to control and reduce the level of trapped air and foam created during wastewater treatment process. This help to decrease the potential for dangerous overflow. When you have foam inside your tanks, it can cause your tanks to be overflood or overflow and causes the air to melimpah in a way. And then next is organic polymers. Organic polymers are natural flocculants that use ionized polymer to attract particles into floc. For easier filtration, this is an alternative for chemical polymer, which is much more environmental friendly and often used in conjunction with inorganic iron or aluminum-based coagulant. Reducing agents. Reducing agents, also known as oxidizing agents, include sodium bisulfate, sodium hydrosulfide, and ferrosulfate. They are typically used to remove harmful substances such as ozone, hydrogen peroxide, fluorine, and biological contaminants from wastewater. Coupled with aeration, these chemical bonds to suspend compounds to reduce them and can settle out the water and flocculants and filters. Sludge conditioner, which is chemical sediments and waste biomass that can be difficult to filter. Cleaner and degreaser, such as clotbuster and alkaline drain opener. Membrane cleaner and anticyclones, biocide and biodespins. Heavy metal precipitation, pH control. All of these, although they are helpful to your wastewater treatment system, but in the end, it is chemical, and without any proper operation or without any supervision, any excess amount of chemical can cause harmful effect to the environment and also any organism inside of the environment, such as ourselves, animals, and also plants. Which come to the second part, effect of chemical substance to the environment. So when you dispatch this wastewater treatment before, not before, after you treat it, and then it will go to the environment. So what will be the most effect of this unresponsible discharge? Surely it will be environmental pollution. After you pollute all the environment, and also you kill the fishes, the nearby village, and your company will face some problems like the one that happens in Johor, for example, when they discharge unwanted chemicals through the river and causes the river to be polluted. So police, DOE, and also the government will interfere, and they will force you to pay a lot of money or so-called fine. And the other side effect of this harmful and irresponsible discharge is the illness and diseases. So there's a new way you can overcome this with limited spending, while also save the cost when you use the chemical, and you can reduce all of these costs and everything. In terms of that, you can start to look for biological solution. So biological solution can digest difficult toxic compound with naturally occurring bacteria, stabilize plant activities, and also enhance them, which is very cheaper alternative to the chemicals, cost-effective and reliable for day-to-day operation, production and handling of lessened sludge. They can reduce the sludge formation, 100% natural, non-toxic, and free of harmful chemicals. Biological solution for wastewater is easier to use, with just introduction of oxygen, which is very crucial to encourage the Sentinel to begin to start actively work on the wastewater treatment system. And the Sentinel will focus on sludge to digest this organic material in order to break it down. And the only role that we play is to keep the process intact and trying our best to keep the effluent on track by taking samples of the wastewater and to communicate between our engineers and also our technician on how the progress of the wastewater monthly, weekly, or daily. And at the end of the process, Sentinel are capable of breaking down the sludge biochemically and improve the effluents. So what are the frequently asked questions that must be answered? How much do you spend yearly on handling waste in relation to the grease trap, clog pipe, sludge, or wastewater treatment? And this should include the cost of the chemical handling, transport, and landfill. What if we could help you to solve the problems by reducing perhaps 50% to 60% of your existing expense and not creating secondary pollutant? Would you be interested? One of our case study that we conduct using our biological solutions is that the wastewater treatment plant is nearly 1 year old. The effluents could not comply with the Department of Environmental DOE standard A parameters. The final output readings show high COD and BOD counts. The customer mentioned that they are looking to reduce the BOD and COD ratio to 1 to 3. The flow rate is 100 meter cube per day. The tank size of an equalizing tank is 30 meter times 25 meter. Action tank is 70 meter cube, and the MBR is 30 meter cube. And the customer spent quite substantially not on microbes, but on caustic soda, which is the chemical to adjust the pH. Our method that we conduct during our case study is we just use 100 grams of our solution into a 200 liter drums, and we aerate it for 24 hours and then pour it into the EQ tank every night. Due to the tight retention time, which is about 24 hours only, without a sedimentation tank, we have to set up a dosing system to dose our solution in a 200 liter drum with 100 grams of our solution every day, and let our solution drip into the EQ tank on a 24/7 basis. And guess what? We have a good result in 2 to 3 months. Having said that, the reading dropped after 2 weeks from their current level. For case study number 2 that we conduct, based on the information given, the minimum daily dosage of our solution could be set at 100 grams a day. This is after we gathered the information from the customers about the size of the wastewater treatment plant, the configuration, the size of the tank, and also the flow rate. So it's the same as before, with case study as before. The size, everything is almost the same. And we propose to them 100 grams a day to solve their issues. However, since the customer is concerned about getting a quick result, so we propose to begin with 200 grams a day. They want to see a result at a faster rate. They don't believe us. And once the outcome is stable in 2 to 3 months, they can reduce the dosage to just 100 grams per day or even lesser. So as the method statement used for the case study 2, we activate the 200 grams of our solution into a 400 liter drum for 24 hours. This is our standard procedure. Then we dose the solution into the EQ tank daily. Once they start using our solution in the EQ tank, there were very little leftover sludge in the polishing tank that require our solution. Typically, we reduce the suspended solid no less to 90 to 95%, so that the wastewater treatment system is functioning properly. With the front loaded of our solution at the EQ tank, there's no need to use it in the polishing tank anymore. So, as a user, what will you expect from us? Based on our experience, you would usually see roughly 40% to 50% cost saving conservatively in the first month itself. If the engineer who look after the wastewater treatment plant are dedicated and diligent in operating your wastewater treatment plant with our solution, you can usually see no less than 80% of your cost saving after several months of incorporating our solution. For example, if you spend 400 to 500K per month for the DAF, dissolved air flotation system, on cost of polymer, transportation, landfill, then our solution will probably cost you only around 40 to 50K per month conservatively. However, you will need to spend around 80 to 100K on the initial stage before the wastewater treatment plant hits the optimal level several months down the road, meaning that after your wastewater treatment plant stabilize and finally work together with our biological solution, your plant will eventually need less cost to operate than the one that you have now. So this biological solution is provided by us. We call it Sentinel Biocatalyst Solutions. So what we offer is trial and purchase. You can try our biological solutions, and if it's worth, then only you pay for it. And this is the standard packaging, 100-gram packs. You can buy it for 10 kg pack. And also you can contact us for more testimony, and also applicable for soil remedy, land management, and aquaculture. We also provide cleaning equipment such as hand push sweeper for factories, and also cleaning service contract and rental leasing and everything. If you need more information about it, you can contact me at ashraf@cmax.com.my, or you can just WhatsApp me 016-207-5400. Also for silo cleaning services, we also provide the service, which is includes silo components, silo cleaning service, survey, and also anything silo related. That's all from me. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask me right now, or we will
Hi,
be.
Ashraf. I just have a quick question. So this solution is to be added to existing like wastewater treatment plant. Like let's say we already have a DAF system employed. So we use this as an additional to the existing system, right?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So if let's say we are interested in purchasing the thing, so I can just WhatsApp you, right?
Yes, you can WhatsApp me, you can communicate with me through emails, and then I have a few
Okay.
questions to ask you first before,
Okay.
yeah, so we can
Okay,
advise
because we
for
have like a new project which is coming up with like Kanika and also possibly BASF. So we are trying to employ the wastewater treat, like enhance their wastewater treatment plant. So I'm still finalizing on the exact project details. So once I have that, then I will share with you, and maybe you can suggest, like, what is the next step and how much we can like employ.
Okay, sure, sure, Miss Ashvina, is it? Ashvini, Miss Ashvini.
Yes.
Yes, okay, Miss Ashvini. How can
Okay.
you can WhatsApp me right now so I can save your number? Is it okay with you?
Yeah, yeah. I'll WhatsApp you now.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for the information that you've given today.
Yeah, thank you for attending, Miss Ashvini. I will send you
Okay.
an ebook as an appreciation after this. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.